Hey, good morning to you from Dave's Dreaded TV. We are here on Saturday, October 15th, and we're getting ready to brew. Now, one thing we're going to do today is I'm brewing a Belgian double, and then my wife will be coming behind me, Josanna, and brewing a Abbe de Leffe blonde. Now, when you're going to try to get two brews in one day, this time of year you got to start early. As you can see, it's dark outside. It's about 6:30, quarter till 7, and we're going to get started. So we actually prepped last night. We got our system set up. We got my water in here and the grains all ground. So all I got to do is fire it up and get things rolling. So we'll be coming back at you with Dave's Dreaded. Hey guys, we're getting everything started here. We get the temperature up on our bowl kettle. Still kind of dark. One thing I wanted to point out is when brewing in dark and you don't have as much light, key thing here, my brother-in-law got this from me, Joe, is a little headlamp. So I'll turn that on for you. Might be a little bright in there. But you can adjust it down if you need for your boil kettle, and you keep all your hands free. So if you're going to be doing any evening brewing and you don't have a lot of light, like in a garage or something like that, you're out back, I suggest one of these. It makes cleanup a lot easier, and it'll work. So anyway, we're doing a Belgian double this morning. We're going to bring it up. We're going to be mashing at about 154, and we're going to get moving on this. So this is Dave's Dreaded TV, your early morning brewing here on October 15th, 2011. Talk to you later. Alright guys, we're bringing our water up to temperature. We're probably at about, I think I can take off my speed limiter cap. I think our water temperature now is getting up to about 160. Our strike temperature will be about 166. When I put the grain in, it'll be right at 154 where I want to mash at. As you can see, the dawn is nothing like bringing up your water temperature when you're watching the sunrise. So we're going to have a great brew day here. It's going to be a little windy, little nice October type day, nice fall weather in here. So we're in a Belgian double today. Stick with us and we're going to have some fun. Okay guys, this is Dave's Dreaded TV here. Looks like we're starting to get full sun now. The sun's starting to come over the trees here. We're actually mashing here. So we want to keep it at 150, 154, so I've been blending it. Got a big grain bill here. Kind of talk about what we're using here. We got 31 pounds of 2-row. We got a half a pound of Crystal 90. We got 3 pounds of Munich malt. Got a pound of Special B malt. We got 3 pounds of Vickery malt, and then we got a half a pound of chocolate. So it's a pretty big recipe. We're probably looking at close to 39 pounds of grain. So when you got 39 pounds of grain you're trying to mash, you got to kind of work it to make sure you get your grain bed set and you get a good flow here. Weight of the grain sometimes will compact your grain bed, which will make it slow your mash down or even get a stuck mash. Had that happen before. So we got rice hulls in here. We're trying to help prevent that. Rice hulls help separate, give you some of the filtering agents, and also makes your mash a little bit lighter, not as dense, so it flows through easier and you get better conversion. We're about 15 minutes into this mash, so we got about another hour and 15 minutes. Should finish mashing about 9 o'clock, so we got a good morning going here. So we should be sparging by about 9:15 and then hopefully boiling by 10. So a good day, and then Josie will be coming right behind me doing an Abbe de Leffe blonde or a Belgian blonde, which I think that's going to be a good brew too. So we got some kick-ass recipes today. Stick with us here on Dave's Dreaded TV, and we'll talk more about the hop schedule and the fermentation. So brewing a Belgian double today here, October 15th here, what I like to call the fall brewing weather. It's my time of year, and we'll talk to you later on Dave's Dreaded TV. One of the things I want to start doing here on the my brewing series here on Dave's Dreaded TV is talk a little bit about the style and what we're making. And pardon me, I'm going to have to keep watching my temperature as we're doing this. This is live. Okay, the things I want to do here is start talking about the styles and give you a little bit of example. I'm referring to the BJCP guidelines. You can get that on bjcp.org. Great reference for beer styles, but we're talking about a Belgian double. It's in the Belgian strong ale category, 18, and this is an 18B Belgian double. The aroma should be complex and rich, malty sweetness, and malt has hints of chocolate. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but it's going to be a very spicy qualities, can be moderate, alcohol can be present. It's a very rich, very complex beer. Some fruity esters, including raisin plums, and also sometimes like a dried cherry. So you get that from the complexity of the malt and the yeast. The next thing I talk about is appearance. The appearance of this is dark amber to copper in color, and it has a reddish depth. There's a reddish depth in the color. It's clear and has a large, dense head. When you pour it into a glass, it's going to be really nice and thick. Flavor, you know, it has very rich, complex, medium to medium full malty sweetness. That's the reason why I'm mashing about 154. To right at the end of the medium, starting to get into the you know, the full-bodied beers. I kind of like that, kind of go right into there. It finishes moderately dry. It has complex malt esters, alcohol, and you know, raisin flavors are common. Dried fruits are welcome. Clove-like spiciness is optional. Mine usually doesn't have that, and it balances more towards the malt. Should not be as malty as a Bock, but should have a crystal malt type sweetness, and you know, it's kind of good. Mouthful, like I said, is medium to full-bodied, medium to high carbonation. Low alcohol warmth, smooth but not very, you know, this not very hot. You know, the alcohol is not hot. One thing to think about here and talk about this, let's talk about commercial examples you can get. Is a West Mall Double, a St. Bernardus, Patter 6, La Trappe Double, Corson Dunk Abbey Brown Ale. There's several of them out there. Trying to think. Chimay Red, that's the one I actually, when I made this recipe up, is the recipe I was shooting for. So anyway, you get this off of bjcp.org. You can see what kind of, you know, what you're making. Is it coming to where you want it to be at, and kind of base your recipe. And as you're moving along in your brew, you can kind of see, is it matching the guidelines. You know, sometimes you'll brew these a little bit over the top, and it may be a Belgian dark strong. But alcohol is usually anywhere from, let's see, your original gravity can be anywhere from 1062 to 1075. Final finishing gravity should be 1008 to 1018. Low in the IBU from the bitterness standpoint. Alcohol should be alcohol by volume anywhere from 6.3 to 7.6. So get that on bjcp.org. We're going to get back here watching our mash temperatures. I got to stir the old mash tun here to make sure everything is going good. So anyway, a little bit about the Belgian Double here from the BJCP guidelines. We'll talk to you later. Alright guys, here we are, mid-morning here, about 9 o'clock. Well, you can see the sun's coming out pretty bright now. I had to break out the old spectacles that, actually I got the ones my father-in-law got me. They're supposed to be high-def sunglasses. Joe Parker gave them to us when we were down at the beach in North Carolina. Shout out to Top Sail. That's where we always go. It's a fun time. Anyway, we're finishing up the mash here, 154. Things seem to be flowing nicely. Grain bed's nice and set. We got good flow. After we get done, about 20 minutes, then we're going to bring it up to mash out temperature about 168. Let that run for about 10 minutes, and then we'll start sparging to get ready to boil. So things are moving along here, and should be done by noon or 1 o'clock, and then Josie will come right behind me and do her Belgian ale. Belgian Blonde Ale. That would be an 18A on the BJCP guidelines. So anyway, we're mashing right now, finishing up. Just wanted to check in with you guys, listen to a little music, drink a little coffee. It's almost beer time though, because it is 5 o'clock somewhere. So, and just got finished talking to a good friend of mine on Facebook chat, Evan Brass. Used to live here in Northern Kentucky. He's moved out west. And he's actually on tour, so playing for Joshua Radian. So get a chance, look those guys up. Great guy, awesome guitar player. Anyway, Dave's Dreaded TV, just chatting here with you this morning, and we'll talk to you later. All right, we're here with Greg Geiser. Geiser, right? That's right. From the CMI Club. We met him the other night. He lives close by here. I didn't know we were getting all these Northern Kentucky brewers in the club. That's awesome. We're moving forward here with our Belgian Double today. We're at our mash out temperature. In about a minute, we're going to get ready and start the sparging process. But Greg came over. He's been brewing for about a year, and we're sitting there enjoying his Northern English brown ale, and he's a brew geek like I am. So this is Dave's Dreaded TV. Greg, anything to say to the folks out there?
Thanks for watching Dave's Dreaded TV.
Alright guys, we'll be back at you in a little bit here. We're going to get ready and start the sparge. Alright guys, here we are, Dave's Dreaded TV, October 15th. We're doing a Belgian Double. We've done the sparge. We're over here to the brew kettle. bringing it up slowly. When you're bringing up 13 gallons of beer, you don't want to bring it up too fast or you have a mess. So we're going to 90-minute boil. We're going to go 30 minutes, and we're going to have some hop additions, and I'll talk about those later on. Just so you know, I'm going to mention a couple guys here. We got a couple club members here. We got Greg we talked to earlier from CMI, and we got Chris up here from Bach. So guess what? You got more than one person. It's a brew-in. So Dave's Dreaded TV coming at you. We'll see you later. All right, guys, we're winding down the boil here. We got about 12 minutes left on this boil. We're going to put another ounce of Czech sauce. And to give you the hop schedule for this beer, we've used 2 ounces of Czech sauce at 60 minutes. It's a 90-minute boil. So you boil for 30 minutes. Pow! Czech sauce, 2 ounces, 30 minutes. Go 15 minutes. So at 45 minutes left, you're going to put 2 ounces of Fuggles. Then you go to 15 minutes left, you put your palmful, tablespoon or teaspoon of Irish moss for clarification. It's a dark beer, who cares? And then at 10 minutes, we're going to do another ounce of Czech sauce. Finish the boil, we're going to knock out, and then we're going to chill. So we're moving right along here, and then Josie's going to come behind, do the blonde ale. We're having a little food, brats, German potato salad. Justin's joined us here. Joe's here. Josie's here. It's a party. It's a brew-in. Dave's Dreaded TV coming at you October 15th. We'll talk to you later. All right, guys. Here we are, Dave's Dreaded TV. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The Belgian double is done. Kaput. Put in the buckets. We got about 21 bricks, which is going to be about a 10. What, Chris? 1084. We said it was 1084. So it's a big Belgian double. So we got the yeast in there, and we're going to finish up the paperwork and all that crap on that. Josie's not coming behind us, getting ready to do her Belgian blonde. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so we may be going into the night, but you know what? Here at Dave's Dreaded TV and at the Dixon Brewing household, we don't care. We'll brew any time of day. So this is Dave's Dreaded TV coming at you and say, brew hard. All right, here we are at Dave's Dreaded TV. You guys heard me talk about the woman behind the man. Well, here she is. This is Jo Santa from Bonehead Brewing. Actually took 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a third at the Queen of Beer this year, 2011. Josie, props. She's actually now coming behind me today, and she's actually brewing a Abbey de Leffe, or a Belgian blonde. That's 18A on the style guidelines. And in the brew series here we're doing on Dave's Dreaded TV, I'm going to be talking a little bit later on. Actually, I have Josie talk about the style later on. We're going to kind of go through the BJCP guidelines. But anyway, we're just going to kind of introduce Josie here. She's actually, you look at, we're mashing. What temperature are you mashing at, Josie?
150.
Okay, and that's going to give us a little bit, be a lighter body. It'll be really nice. It'll be nice and crisp, but you're going to have those nice Belgian. We're using 31 pounds of grain, and she's putting a pound of candy sugar in the bowl. Can you say, yeah? Dave's Dreaded TV coming at you later on. Introducing my wife, Jo Santa. I love her.
Oh, I'm going to get sick.
See you later.
What do you think, sis? I'm going to get
sugar. It's a Belgian candy.
Everything's all good.
Yeah? Is he a ham?
Everything's all good.
It's all good. It's all great stuff.
It's good.
Jeff, what'd you got there?
Get a picture of the mash. Got a beautiful thing. Got a nice little flow. Scrum-dilly-umptious.
All right. It's our friend Justin over here.
Hey, guys. All right, guys, here we are at Dave's Dreaded TV. Again, as part of our Dave's Dreaded Brewing series, we're going to talk about what Josie's brewing today. Josie's brewing a Belgian blonde ale. Now, that for your BJCP style guidelines, that's where we're getting all this from, bjcp.org. Check it out. This is an 18. It's a Belgian strong ale, and we're talking about 18A, a Belgian blonde ale. Let's talk about the aroma. It's light, earthy, or spice hop nose, along with a light sweetness, pills, malt character. Shows some subtle yeast character and may include some spicy phenols. Perfumey or honey-like alcohol, or a yeasty, fruity esters. And you'll get that from the fermentation. Because you ferment this probably about 165, 168. The appearance is going to be light to deep golden in color. Josie's probably going to be more of a light to medium golden. It's going to have a large, dense, creamy white or an off-white head and good head retention. It's going to have the Belgian lace. In other words, Belgian lace, you look at your glass, kind of laces along the glass and kind of drapes down. The flavor is going to be smooth, light to moderate pills, malt sweetness, but finishes medium dry to dry. That's the reason why Josie is doing a mash at 150 to kind of give you the shorter sugar molecules that actually attenuate out a lot better. It's going to have a really good hop balance, medium hop balance, the bitterness, a little bit of malt, can be spicy or earthy, very soft yeast character. So this would be a really nice beer. Some light caramelization sugars or honey-like sweetness on the palate is acceptable. Mouthfeel is medium, high to high carbonation. Gives you a mouthy, like a bubbly sensation, kind of tingly sensation. But again, this is more of a medium body to light body beer, and you're going to have a light to moderate alcohol warmth. but you don't want to be a hot alcohol. That's the key there. Overall impression is it's a moderate strength golden ale that's kind of a Belgian complexity. So you're going to get those Belgian notes. You think of earthy horse blanket, but it's going to be really nice. A slightly sweet flavor, but it's going to have a dry finish. Let me give you some commercial examples here of this. We're talking about a Leffe Blonde, which is what we're going to drink here today when we're brewing this. An Almagon Blonde, a La Trappe Blonde. Some other ones you may think you know about is those are about the only ones that I've ever drank here. The statistics on this is going to be original gravity anywhere from 1062 to 1075. Josie's going to be probably right around the 1072 area. Final gravity, we're going to finish out about 1008 to 1018, which is going to give you that nice dry finish and attenuate very nicely. We're going to have IBUs 15 to 30. That's the bittering unit, international bittering units. I think Josie's is right about 21, 22. And like I said, a very light beer. The alcohol by volume can be anywhere from 6.60 to 7.5. This is going to be about a 7.2 to 7.3 beer. So some historical, it's recent development. This is a European Pils drinkers like this type of beer, but it has a nice Belgian type flavor. So anyway, Dave's Dreaded TV talking about the Belgian Blonde Ale. Oh, we just dropped a point, so Josie got to check her mash. So we're out of here. Gotta take care of some business with mashing. We'll talk to you later here at Dave's Dreaded TV.
There it is, right there.
Yeah.
Perfect. Got the
How
nice
come my little thing didn't go off? Going
because you got to turn on alert.
Oh.
All right, guys, here we go. We're actually October 15th. It's in the afternoon. We got the sun starting to set in the west, so we're actually got a little block here, so you're not seeing blinded by sun. This is Dave's Dreaded Tea coming at Bonehead Brewing, the originator of Bonehead Brewing. My wife, Josanna Dixon, an award-winning brewer, if I may say so, and she's brewing a Belgian Blonde Ale. And part of the recipe calls for a pound of candied sugar, which is going to give us, we went through and she did the mash and had the nice lighter malts. We got a really nice light golden color. This is going to give a little pow, a little alcohol punch there, but nice and not overpowering, not warming, but just subtle right behind the scenes. Josie, we're going to put that in, then we'll talk a little bit more. Candied sugar is what the Belgians use to help pump up their alcohol and pump up the, and it's also a low-cost additive, and it really helps out. So she's putting it in there, and then we're going to mix it up, and then we're going to rinse it out and get all the goodness.
Hey Dave, is it right that a lot of the Belgian breweries have to pay tax on their grain?
I think so. I was talking about that earlier. We were discussing like that, and I have to validate my facts on that. I started thinking about that. Is that Belgian or is that English, or maybe both? But at the end of the day, Belgians put the candy sugar in there because Belgians do a lot of beers over the top, and they like the big alcohol. And like I said, candy sugar is a low-cost additive, and it really does help out and bring a lot of roundness and sweetness to the beer. Now, we are brewing a Belgian Blonde Ale, or I should say Josie's brewing a Belgian Blonde Ale today. And the nice thing about a Belgian Blonde Ale, it's the top of the category. It's in the strong ale category, but it's at the lighter end of the scale. It's going to be nice, light, fruity esters. We talked a little bit earlier, and I made a comment about horse blanket. Now, I'm not talking about go wet down a horse blanket, everybody suck on a horse blanket. No, it ain't what you want to do. But we're talking about its earth tones. Think about if you would imagine sucking on a horse blanket, if you may. It would actually be earthy and have that, it's hard to describe as that Belgian flavor. You got your Belgian triple, you got your Belgian dark strong, you got your Belgian golden, then you got your Belgian blonde ale. Then you get into your sour beers. We won't go there for this episode. But it's going to really give you a nice, think of earthy tones, think of a very subtle earthy tones, and it really carries well, and it adds a lot of esters and fruitiness to the beer. So we got the candy sugar in here. We're mashing. Had a really good mash, and we're sparging right now. So we're going to be brewing here shortly. So anything to say, Josie? I mean, I've been hogging it up.
Nope, I'm good.
All right, this is Dave's Dreaded TV. We're brewing hard. You should be too. It's been a good brew day and everything like that. And I really like the Belgian style beers.
Likewise, but when you add that candy sugar in, I mean, well, I understand you're talking about it loosens up the cost, adds that flavor complexity, but
if you were to add that to the mash, or double it up there, or,
Well, no, I mean,
or adding
if you add grain here, it's a complete different sweetness. The candied sugar is going to give you a complete different complexity in a beer. It's sweeter. It's got different complex sugars. It's a shorter sugar molecules, which is going to definitely increase your alcohol. But most candy sugars are made out of beetroot, and gosh, I forgot where it was discovered. I'm trying to think of Mutiny on a Bounty. The guy went off and tried to find the beetroot down in Africa or I forget somewhere. My history's kind of giving me here, but it's made. It's actually a sugar beet. It's grown in the ground. And they take that extract. I mean, they use it today. It replaces a lot of sugar that sugarcane does, or they use corn or corn sugar. But beetroot is definitely a super sweet, and they'll take and they'll extract that down. And different type of candy sugars. Josie used today, she used a clear candy sugar. You got an amber, then you have a dark, depending on what type of beers you're using. I mean, most of your triples, you're going to use a light or a clear. You get in. I mean, when I brewed a Belgian double earlier, I could have used that, but my recipe and the way I'm brewing that style of beer, and my interpretation of a Belgian double, I choose not to use it. When I brew my Belgian triple, though, I use 2 to 3 pounds of candied sugar because I want that really high or a golden. The Abbe de la Fille Blonde is a light, subtle beer, but it's higher in alcohol compared to a regular Pilsner or an American Pilsner. So, to answer your question in a long way, but the short answer is that it adds a different type of sugar, a complexity to the beer, and it ferments out at a higher alcohol, but yes, it gives it a nice residual sweetness. It's a touch, it's just a little bit, it almost where you get some of the fruitiness, because the yeast, when it's working on that sugar, then it adds a different type of fruitiness or ester. Now that's, again, I'm not talking about the BJCP, this is Dave's personal opinion, so there's your answer to a long answer to a short question.
Now, is this something that could be added to, say, a barley wine, something, or any type of brew that you're trying to get a little bit more sweetness into, or is it exclusive to just the Belgium style?
Well, the nice thing about being a home brewer versus a commercial or a micro brewer, you can, if you want to put candy sugar in your barley wines, go for it. I think thinking outside the box is excellent. When I'm doing a barley wine and I want to get a higher alcohols, and when you got limitation, you would do a 10-gallon batch, but you got the limitation of maybe 55 pounds of grain, then what you would do is you would do what you can do in here, then you can augment with like a dry malt or a liquid malt extract, which is what we've made here, but condensed. But a candied sugar, why not? I mean, some people, candied sugar, you can use liquid, you can use rock, there's different types of things. I mean, I've even used pure cane sugar from Hawaii, the brown kind. I don't know if you've seen that, the raw cane sugar. I've even used that in some of my triples before, and it turned out very nice because I couldn't find candied sugar. I mean, there's different things that you can use out there to augment it. The nice thing about being home brewing is that if you want to switch it up or use something different to kind of create the style or what you're trying to do it. Because guess what? It may work out.
Sure, why not?
All right. This is Dave's Dreaded TV. That's unabridged right there. Keep brewing hard and keep experimenting. We're out. All right, guys, here we go. There's several episodes we've done at Dave's Dreaded TV, and you guys don't see the man behind the scenes. Here's our videographer, my brohim, my right-hand man, my wingman, Joe. You may know him. You may have seen
Production director. Come on, man. I'm the guy.
No. I'm the production director. You guys see it at the end of the thing.
Without me.
Okay. Anyway. Okay. But you may have seen Joe, and I'm going to give Joe a little plug here. Joe is actually CEO and president of Innovative Induction Lighting, and if you haven't seen it, if you need lighting needs, go check out Joe. But Joe is also the man behind the scenes here and the man behind the camera at Dave's Dreaded TV. Joe, I want to give you a chance to talk about maybe a little about your company and a little bit about brewing and how you like it.
Screw the company. We're going to be all right. Brewing beer, I'm kind of a poser. I admit it. That's what I do. I got tugged into the undertow of home brewing when he married my sister.
It's me!
My sister some odd years ago, and we got sucked into it all, and love the beer thing. It's so diverse. There are so many people brewing so much beer. It's an upward trend. People are no longer settling for Bud Light, and you don't have to. Why would you want to? Personally, I like beers that are not going to be stuck on a shelf someplace. PBRs, Go out there and watch the movie Beer Wars. Go out there and understand what you're drinking. Support your local home brews. Yeah, you're going to pay a little more. Yeah, you're going to pay a little more. But you know what? Those people deserve it because they're offering you a service.
Okay. Joe, I appreciate it. Thank you, Joe.
In the meantime,
The beer's worth it.
and
It tastes that damn good and that much better. I mean,
you're
come
going to
on.
drink better beer.
I'm so
I mean,
glad that I moved in next door to this guy. Otherwise, I'd still be sucking that piss down my throat. Come on.
Yeah. So hey, you're only going to rent beer anyway, so at least enjoy what you're drinking. So if you got to pay a couple extra bucks for a home brew, if you want to go out there wine tasting, beer tasting, just don't settle. Am I off camera?
Nope.
Is that all good?
You're good. You done?
So anyway, DDTV and the rest of us, the guys behind the scene over there.
That's what happens when you let the cameraman in front of the camera. This is Dave's Dreaded TV. Out. Here we are, Dave's Dreaded TV. We're having Josie Chill here. Josie's behind the camera. Evidently Vaughn, 1077, big blonde, big boobs. We're having a good time here at Dave's Dreaded TV. So thanks for joining in today. We brewed from sun up to sundown, and we're going to get this down, and we're out of here. So remember, that's the way brew go, and brew hard. All right, guys, this is Dave's Dreaded TV here, October 15th. It was a great day today. I got up to about maybe 65, 68 degrees. Started my day, struck my strike water for my Belgian double at 6:45 in the morning. Brewed, had a great brew, came out really nice, hit my target gravity and everything. Had some great friends. We had Greg come over from CMI. We had Chris come out from Box. So shout out to those guys. Had Justin come over. Of course, Joe, my Brohim, and my wife, Josanna. And then we came right behind about 2 o'clock and started her Belgian blonde ale. And we finished up, it's about 8:30. So let me put the math to you. We've been brewing hard. I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning. Other folks woke up later in the day. I'm not going to mention any names. But anyway,
Yeah, that'd be me.
we had great beer. We had great food. We had great time. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this. We did a double session today. Dave's Dreaded is going to be bringing Dave's Dreaded brewing sessions to you. Talk through the beer, talk what it is and everything. One thing I do want to have, and I asked if you give me 1 second here. Josie, would you please hand me your recipe? I didn't tell them what was in your recipe, please. So give me 1 second here.
Come on, get over here. What do we got here?
Okay.
Yeah, there we
So
go.
with the Belgian blonde ale, just to kind of get you guys know what we're brewing, it's a 60-minute boil. First of all, you're going to mash at 150. Then you're going to take it up to 168 for the knockout, and then you're going to boil. Let me give you the recipe. You had 28 pounds of a basic 2-row. You had a half a pound of biscuit malt. You had a half a pound of aromatic malt, half a pound of Munich malt, half a pound of honey malt, and then 1 pound of candied sugar clear. We talked about the candied sugar earlier. You have 2 hop additions. That is, it's a 60-minute boil. You're going to go with Galena at 60 minutes. We didn't have Galena, so we substituted Chinook for it, which you can. And then you had 15 minutes of steering Goldings, and then Irish moss. So we used a White Labs 1550 yeast, a Belgian golden ale. So if you guys want to brew this recipe and you're watching it, and you watch the whole episode, you get the bonus recipe of a Belgian blonde ale. This is Dave's Dreaded TV. Guys, I hope you enjoy what we're bringing to you and look forward to more episodes. So remember, that's the way beer goes, and brew hard. This is Dave's Dreaded TV saying, I'm out of here. Adios.
Okay, guys, when you're not brewing beer, this is what they're doing. They are playing cornhole. And the other board, oh, can't come because of sun. This is what they're doing. Good old backyard cornhole. Now they gotta walk back to this side of the board, so you lose your buzz while you're doing it.
Is Justin holding court?
Yeah, he's freaking waxing my ass.
Wax on, wax off.
As long as he doesn't pull the.
Yeah, you're on film, Dave.